Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dice Cast. I am Russell S.A.N, and with me I have...
This man.
When last we left off, our adventurers had just returned from a mining expedition to find their very good friend, Bree Tealeaf, being hauled off in chains by members of the Watch and the religious leader of the village, Father Gregor. It was clear that a witch trial was being held, with Bree having been convicted of murdering a member of the Watch. This proved false after some investigation, and they were able, well, through some quick planning and a very timely Featherfall spell, get Bree out of being executed, and also off the plateau.
Don't forget the kick in the nads.
After Bree humiliated Gregor publicly. This ensured Bree's survival and ensured that she was no longer in any danger on the plateau. They also discovered a plot to poison the alderman of the village, Ivor, which had been concocted by Father Gregor and his cultists in order to eliminate him and place Varus, the elven lore master in Lakeside, in his place, in hopes of using him as a puppet to rule Lakeside. Through some investigation and no small amount of luck, our heroes managed to thwart both these plots, and Gregor's entire faction limped off to lick its wounds, having suffered a rather public and humiliating defeat. And with this, the remaining members of the Lakeside and the Lakeside government and our heroes were galvanized into discovering some way to deal with him for good. As both our heroes agreed, Gregor could not be left on this plateau after they left, which is something that they are currently planning to leave Lakeside in order to continue their adventures off the plateau. That's really all that happened last time, so I think I'll pass it over to you now.
That's all. That's right. Nothing happened at all much. All right, so at the end of all those adventures, we had retired to my place, or my parents' place, I should say, where my mom has crashed because she was spending the better part of almost a day and a half tending to Ivor's condition, hopefully trying to cure him. And she's exhausted, so she has gone to bed, and we're sitting around the table chatting with Sam, my dad, and basically just sat down when there is a polite knock at the door.
There probably would have literally been close to 24 hours in total for her.
24? Oh, okay.
Well, total.
Long enough, anyway.
Yeah. It would have been a day and a half, but she would have been active for 24 hours of it, probably.
True enough.
So there's a knock at the door.
Yes. My dad answers it, and it is Mustafa.
I just turn and I say, "Oh joy, what now?"
He looks actually kind of, not really so much tired, but definitely
He should be.
under a lot of stress. He has had a rough day and a half because, well, with all the plots and everything else and things not being under his control at all, Father Gregor had pretty much shanghaied the whole political structure of the plateau, and he was just helpless to watch. Fortunately, that all got thwarted, but it wore on him. He's stressed, and it shows in his face. On top of that, he was hoping to check in with the Watchtower and the members of the Watch that are left, and basically get some rest when he realizes that he had forgotten something. If you remember, about a day and a half, 2 days ago, actually maybe a little bit longer now, there was an earthquake, and
this was when we were out on the mining expedition.
Yes, then the volcano had not so much erupted or anything, but had made its presence known, and there was a substantial earthquake. That, if you remember, one of the very early plots of Father Gregor was to knock a bit of a hole in the wall, of the basement of the Watchtower and have us go down. He threw in one of the crystal magic figures that we've been running across, and at this point, we can say he's probably just tried to kill us. But what the plot was at the time that we thought was that he had created this creature to see if he can lure us out into using our magic, because we had that under wraps at the time. And he had one of the members of the Watch there to keep an eye on things and make sure that, if anything untoward happened, he had a witness. Well, that all got foiled us. That was like a very long time ago now.
Yes, it seems like a long time ago, but it wasn't. It was probably like 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah, it wasn't. From a game point of view, it was really well near the beginning, but from anything else, yeah, it wasn't that long ago, time-wise.
And somehow, it all went according to his plan, except that we lived, and he still didn't get his way.
Yes. A little bit. I mean, we kind of knew what was going on. He kind of had a suspicion of what was going on, but it wasn't public, so nothing could be done about it.
I do believe my exact words were, inevitable double-cross, check.
Yes. And the earthquake that happened recently had caused some further cracking. Father Gregor had the watch member, use a pick and basically create that small hole. What was unknown to him was there's actually some structure in there, and because he had weakened that, the earthquake had caused it to be further weakened, and a lot of rubble fell. And he had Mustafa had ordered a couple of the guys to go in and just clean it up, trying to make it look like this is a storeroom, right? So they wanted to maybe shore it up a little bit because they had to wait for the blacksmith Albert to get back to actually maybe help, because he has a little bit more knowledge of that. So, but he asked them to do that, and he went back this morning here to check on that. And the two watchmen are nowhere to be seen, and a chunk of the floor seems to have collapsed. And he says, I know he's really been asking an awful lot, and we have given an awful lot to this place, but he doesn't have the manpower to deal with this, and he neither has the skill as well. This is not the kind of thing he's supposed to deal with. He's accustomed to dealing with, people getting a little too drunk at the tavern. Sometimes someone will say someone, killed one of their chickens, and he'll investigate that sort of stuff. This sort of thing is beyond him, and he is asking if we would please look into it for him.
So the first thing that goes through my head at this point is that there was one other thing that we know is coming at the moment, and that is that there was a bunch of kobolds pursuing us when we were leaving, we had to flee at the end of that mining expedition. They're not here yet, so we know they're coming, though. Yes. They were coming en masse, so... Yeah.
And we have informed everybody about that. Yeah. Which is another reason why Mustafa doesn't really want to get involved in this particular little thing, because he has to basically go around and make sure everyone is as prepared as possible for this, making sure that people stay indoors, especially at night, lock their doors. Generally, just be cautious. According to what we said, the Kobolds should have arrived last night, but they haven't.
But they have not.
So something has happened, but Kobolds, with their light sensitivity, will most likely attack at night anyway. So he has the day's preparations to take care of this, and hopefully get everybody ready for that.
And absolutely not get any sleep at all.
He's tired.
Yeah.
He's stressed, but he's not exhausted. Not like we were when we came back in. He has actually had some sleep, and he's hoping to get some more sometime this afternoon, because this is still relatively early in the day. This is probably about, an hour or 2 hours after Bree's execution?
Probably an hour.
Yeah. So...
at most.
He has too much on his plate. And he... because of the Kobold possible problem, having two more watch members no longer around is a bad thing. So
Yeah, they're dropping like flies. Well,
yeah, so he's just almost pleading with us at this point to look into this.
well, this was for the first time in quite a few days since we first set out for that mining expedition. This actually looks like something that we probably got into the adventuring business in the first place to do, to explore some sort of ruin. It didn't go quite so well the last time, but it's going to be a nice change of pace from all the politics and possible impending Kobold attack. So yeah, obviously we're going to look into this.
All right.
So within the holes in the floor, he says, like in the basement.
Yes. So this is
Where we are.
And we are
Watchtower
going to
is
go here.
south.
This is the Watchtower.
Yeah.
This is the Watchtower. If I don't remember, we mentioned this initially. Is an ancient structure. It has been here longer than the town.
We've definitely mentioned it a few times by now.
Yeah. Okay. Just in case we hadn't. It's old.
Yes, it's older than the village.
Yes. So, having a brief 10-minute rest, we can get up, I guess, and go check this out.
So we aren't too spent from the last. Well, I'm not too spent. I did use one. I did cast Frost Fingers, one of my new spells since we leveled up, just for a bit of dramatic flair to try and scare off the peasants to prevent any more attempts at attempted murder. But you're a bit further. But you're even further down. You've done a fair bit. So
I cast Expeditious Retreat to catch up to them before they manage to unceremoniously boot her off the plateau.
And you Featherfall her.
Featherfall her, yes. So I have spent 2/3 of my spell slots.
So we're at half between the two of us on magic.
So
So much for resting, but okay.
Yeah.
At least we're no longer exhausted.
Yes. Let's at least hopefully deal with this quickly.
Yes.
And maybe we can get a rest before tonight, because tonight is most likely going to be the Kobolds. So we should be reasonably fresh for that. Barring anything else, of course.
Barring anything else. It's not like we're going down into a dungeon.
Exactly.
Alright, so we're going to the Watchtower.
It's a quick walk. We get there, and Mustafa comes along because he wants to point things out to us.
Well, we know the way by this point. This is where we...
He wants to...
Yeah.
It feels like it's his responsibility. He wants to show us, and then he has to definitely head off and organize stuff. So
Okay.
we go in. I'm going to describe the first floor of the Watchtower because we haven't really covered that too much. There is the main door, the one that's a little bit damaged now because of Bilius.
Oh, yeah, that!
And there's a big kind of a mar on the side of the stone where he missed.
Yep, somehow he missed the door.
Yep. And anyway, the door is harder to open now because it's a little bit bent in its frame. But it has still its bar. We had it barred. And inside, it is actually a fairly substantial structure. It is about 50 feet square in profile. And on the west wall, which is over on this side, there are 3 holding cells. And then the only other structures in here is a big table.
Yep, that's basically the desk, the front desk almost.
Yeah. Well, yeah, where whoever's out like watching over the prisoners or whatever can sit, and of course they can sometimes just sit around and play cards or whatever. Because I mean, until recently, this has been a very boring place.
Yeah, we've been having quite an active few months, haven't we?
Yep. On the south wall, there are 2 sets of stairs. There's a set of stairs on the west side heading up, which goes up to the barracks. And then there's we're not going to go up, but there's another
and further up to like the roof, basically.
That goes up to the parapet where you can actually do what it's supposed to do, which is see what's going on.
Slash
the set of
throw
stairs,
stuff at people.
Yeah, the set of stairs heading down is the one we've been down before.
Twice now.
And it goes
Twice now.
Twice now. And
larvae and
that's
frog.
where we head down. Yeah, that's where we head down. And Mustafa shows us all of the boxes and crates and barrels and everything else that's been piled into the northeast corner because, well, first off, it needed to go through and be organized and everything else, but because of the other issues that had happened down here, it was just a good idea. So it was all moved out of the way so they can fix the wall. So in the west side of the wall, where that little hole was, just as a lure for us to go and get ambushed by Gregor's plan, that is now all cracked and crumbled, and you can see there's a bunch of dirt behind there. This is really, it was a red herring. There was nothing actually back there. But what had happened is in the southwest corner, it looks like, now that it's a bit shattered, there was a set of stairs heading down to the next level that was sealed. And it was sealed so well that when we were down here last, we did not notice it. It was beyond our passive perception. But now there's a hole there. You see what looked like could have been, like I said, like really well made. It was, the masonry was actually of high quality, and whoever had done this, it was done a long time ago, and it was very, very difficult to see. But now it's easy because there's a hole there, and yes, that's it. There's nobody here.
Yeah.
All is quiet.
How large how wide is the hole? Just out of curiosity.
Okay. The normal set of stairs is 20 feet long by 10 feet wide, and that's what we came down. Mm-hmm. Now that this is cracked, and you can actually start seeing that, now that you're actually paying attention to think that there's something here, there is a 10 wide by 20 long sealed section. But it's only about a foot and a half maybe wide section right near the wall that got damaged because of the earthquake. And you can see, if you look down, there's a hole there. And you figure out that what happened is the stairs go down, and this is at the bottom section. This is where the bottom of the stairs would be for the next level below. But it's dark. There's a lantern here.
Yep.
Because they set one up because he was going to come and get us, and we were going to go and investigate this. So there's a lantern burning here, so there's dim light.
Okay.
But down the hall,
there's nothing.
Pitch dark. Nothing.
All right. Is there anything light I can pick up, like a rock or a piece of wood or something that I can drop?
Earthquake.
Yes, earthquake.
Lots of rubble.
So there's rubble. Okay, I'll pick up a stone. I'm just going to take out some of the phosphorescent moss I have and cast light on it.
Yep. Easy done. Cantrip.
What?
Easily done cantrip.
Yep. I just want to drop it into the hole. I just want to listen and watch it go, just to see how far
All right.
it goes.
So drop and roll a perception check, please.
Had to be that to start with.
Of course. It's your favorite check.
Yep, and I have a 5.
Okay.
Off to a great start.
All right. You're looking down the hole. You drop the rock. It goes about 15 feet.
Oh, that's not far.
And it just catches the last couple stairs and bounces up against the wall. You see, from where you're looking at, the wall is pretty much matches up with the wall that's in front of you right now. It just looks like a continuation heading down. And there is indeed, out you see down there, a set of stairs.
So the staircase actually continues?
No, the set of stairs heads up. It's hard to see from this angle, but it heads underneath the hole, and it's heading up towards where we are at our feet.
Okay. So
yeah, there's enough room to slide in, but it might be a bit difficult to climb back up because this is about a 15-foot drop.
All right. Well, I do have some rope.
Right.
And
you're 50 feet of hempen rope.
50 feet of hempen rope, and I'm pretty sure it also comes with like a grapnel or something that I can stick in.
You don't really need the grapnel because there's plenty of stuff to tie the rope to here. You're only going down 15 feet.
Yes, but is it the same stuff that this floor was made out of?
No. Those some very heavy crates, so we can push a few of them into place and tie the rope to those. Or if you like, you can use your grapple. Up to you.
Okay, I'll tie the rope around the crate.
All right.
I'm just thinking, if it's a stone part of this watchtower, one more earthquake and it's going to fall in.
Yes.
Oh, also, on a side note, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but if this is the southwestern side of the wall, I believe that's the same side the larvae crawled in through to get into the tower.
Exactly. So there was some structural damage here to begin with.
A brick had come loose.
Yeah. You can, if you prefer, use your grapple and hook it into the crack in the wall where all this started.
No, that's fine. We'll just tie it to something.
Can you roll for me a dex, sleight of hand,
So
whatever
just
you like.
dexterity then, because I do not have sleight of hand.
Yeah, you are tying this up. I want to see how well you're tying it.
Very well. That's natural 20.
Oh, no one's done doing this. Actually, I don't think you remember how to undo this knot. So it is...
Oh crap, how do I get the rope back?
Might have to buy a new one. Alright, you have a rope. I assume you're going to drop the end down the hole.
That is the worst natural 20 ever. Somehow it backfires. Yes, I drop it down the hole.
Alright. And then I would like a dexterity check, please, to climb down the hole.
Oh,
Just
I should have saved the 20 for this.
Don't whiff it. That's all.
I didn't whiff it. It's a 10 total? I mean, climbing's not hard.
Perfectly fine. Oh, I rolled a natural 20. Those 2 20s are just completely wasted.
I know, they're on something completely unimportant. Well, actually, no, tying the rope to something probably wasn't unimportant.
Yes.
But it would have succeeded with much less.
Yes, you could have succeeded with 5 almost. Alright, we managed to get down very gracefully into a very dark area.
Okay. Well, I assume the rock I cast light on is still down here.
Yeah, but it's, you know how stairs go like this and like this? It is wedged right there in the corner against the wall in a stair. It is glowing quite brightly, and we are well illuminated personally, but it's not shedding light into the room because it is down in a kind of like a little, almost like a little well.
The last time I went to pick up one of my glowing rocks did not go well. Bilius is not here to throw himself in front of a bunch of traps this time.
Don't throw it on a trap this time. I assume you pick up your rock.
I pick up the rock, and hopefully nothing horrible happens to me because of it.
You pick up the rock, and as you lift it up, you can actually see the room now.
Okay.
Only the first 20 feet of it is well lit, but the dim light does extend sufficiently that you can get a good idea for the size of this room. It, as you just look at it, matches the room above. It is 50 by 50, but in the center of this room is a rather odd-looking spiral staircase. Because it's not round, it is a square spiral. So it is about...
It's the same sort of staircase, almost.
It is 30 feet by 30 feet, and every 10 feet on the west hand side is a set of stairs going down, goes to a platform, turns right,
Yeah.
goes down, turns south, goes down, and then continues.
And that goes out of the visual range of my light cantrip at the moment.
Seeing how we're still standing at the stairs, I probably already gave you more information than you need, can see from where you are. There's nothing else in the room except 2 things. One of which you can see from where you are. There appears to be a guard. The set of stairs goes down towards the north, turns east, and right against the wall, sitting down, it's hard to tell in this because it's pretty much at the dim light limit. There's a guard sitting there.
Okay, so I can see him.
You can just see him. He's just at the extent of the light.
Okay, so you should see the light, but you may not be able to see me.
He is 10, 20. He is 45 to 50 feet, actually about 45 feet away because he is down a little bit. And that's the reason why you can't really see him too clearly because the light angle doesn't quite get that far. You can just sort of see him there in the shadows.
I'm going to snap my fingers and summon Alice, just by my feet.
Yes.
I just want her to smell the room, because this is a little odd.
All right.
So, perception with
Perception
advantage?
check. With
There's a
advantage.
keen smell. Even with advantage, that's pretty bad. 13?
It's good enough. She can smell a human. and she also smells blood.
I was afraid of that. It's very odd behavior to just sit on a wall. Okay. I'm going to proceed up and just have her follow.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk up.
Once you get to the where the stairs begin, you're close enough now. You're only about 25, 30 feet away from this gentleman. I want you to roll a perception check for me, please.
This is me?
This is you. It's sight-oriented. Alice doesn't have advantage on that, I assume?
No, it's just smell.
But
I rolled a 22 total.
I was going to say, you can have advantage because I'm there as well.
I'll roll again if you want, maybe.
No,
No,
that's fine.
5. So the 22.
The first thing you notice is, yes, he's sitting against the wall, like almost like he's just reclining. But you notice there is this steel rod through his chest, pinning him to the wall behind, and there's a pool of blood dripping down. You roll so high that you follow the track of that, and you look up, and against the wall, right underneath the stairwell, is an extremely large crossbow, almost at the point of being a ballista, and it is... Yes? Oh, sorry. I pulled your finger out for a reason.
No, I'm just thinking, and I assume its ammunition has been spent?
Yes.
Okay.
And it is currently adhering this gentleman to...
He's pinning him to the wall.
One more thing, actually, I should mention, because you did roll really high.
Yeah.
There is a flickering light coming from below.
Okay, that could be a torch or something else. Yeah. So, Mustafa said 2 guards went missing. So that's one.
That's one.
The other one might still be alive down here.
Yeah.
I turn to you and I say, well, this is a bad week for the Watch. They just lost 20% of their force.
Yeah, let's try and cap it at that.
Well, I think we should proceed with extreme caution.
All right. So you go down the stairs.
Wait, there's... Before we go further, I do happen to know that you have a spell that... can summon something to hold to carry this up in front of us, so we don't have to be.
All right. I think you would like me to summon my unseen servant.
Yes.
All right. Let's see if I actually, even though I may have it prepared.
Ritual cast it. You are down to your last spell slot.
Yeah, I'm on my last spell slot. I will ritual cast. It will take 10 minutes. And
we aren't in that much of a hurry.
I'll summon the unseen servant.
Okay.
And it will hold the rock.
Okay.
I'm going to have my owl out because she has really good perceptions in the dark. Mm-hmm. I'll have her sit on my shoulder just so that we don't accidentally trip anything.
Okay. And I'm going to have Alice basically just walk by my side. And yeah, your unseen servant should just proceed like maybe 10 feet in front of us.
Yep. How many? How far?
Like 10 feet probably.
Right.
Because my light cantrip has 20 feet of bright light and then 20 feet of dim light. So we're definitely still in the light and we can maximize the amount we're seeing.
Alright. Proceed.
We proceed. In that order.
Alright. So, when we get down to the body, I want you to roll a perception check, please. Or investigation, either one, because you are actually...
I will roll investigation just because I roll too many perception checks. And my modifier is better for that.
Yeah.
16.
You notice underneath, the corpse at this point, there was a panel, a very well-blended panel that he had stepped on and...
That likely triggered this trap.
And triggered the trap, and that resulted in his demise. So, there are traps down here. Not too big a surprise, I suspect.
No, but they're well hidden, which could be a problem.
Yes, they are extremely well hidden.
Yeah. Definitely have your owl keep an eye out.
Alright. One other thing we'll probably do, because we're in this position at the moment, there is a 10-foot by 10-foot square well going down in the middle of this, because the stairs do their square spiral and leaves this hole in the middle. That flickering light is still there.
Okay. I can't really tell how distant, though. It's at the bottom, you said?
I can hold your hand or your robes or whatever, and you can peer over and down if you like.
No, I think it's fine. We'll just keep it continue.
All right. Okay.
That sounds needlessly risky.
All right. Make a perception check with advantage.
Okay. One second, that one was correct. Okay, 17.
Okay, once we've gone one full spiral, and we are again at the north end of the wall, pretty much right directly underneath our expired gentleman, you notice a very, very thin wire stretched across the stairs.
Tripwire.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to point out the tripwire.
Yep.
First, just so everyone, just so you can see it.
Hold on a sec. Natural 20. We're wasting these.
We are.
Yes.
We are, because presumably... Oh, do we try to disarm this? That's the question.
Hold on a sec.
Neither of us are very knowledgeable about traps.
Nope.
So, I'm pretty sure there might be some way of disarming this without triggering it. But we don't know what it is.
Well, you've got a couple of options, of course.
Yeah, like just snipping the wire.
Snip the wire, step over it without triggering it, try to disarm.
Can I just look around at the moment to see if I can figure out what this tripwire might trigger? I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that.
You want to actively look for something like that? Yeah. Roll an investigation check.
Okay, so it's not a disadvantage because, well, it might not be in the field of my light spell's the problem.
It is right in this.
Yeah. 14. No, I don't find it. Okay.
Nope. It is extremely well crafted, and everything here seems seamless. There doesn't seem to be anything. There was the obvious crossbow ballista thing, but there doesn't seem to be anything here.
Which means this might be more discreet. Well, I didn't find anything obvious like holes in the floor that send spikes up through it, or holes in the wall that will just shoot poison darts out. So this could be something a bit trickier. You do have an unseen servant currently that could try tripping this for us, I suppose. Okay, I have a question. Does your unseen servant actually have hands? It says humanoid shaped in the player's handbook, but it's unseen, so we don't know. But I'm assuming you do.
My interpretation is, because I can have my unseen...
It's holding
I
something.
used my unseen servant to burgle that lady's house when we were at the auction, so it can pick things up. It can move things around. We'll call it hands.
Okay.
You want it to hold the rock and pull something at the same time?
Or snip it with a knife, because I do have a small knife in my writer's kit that I can give it to cut the wire, possibly.
It's an unseen servant. It can't do anything that requires a skill check.
And that would be a skill check?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine.
It can just pick up stuff.
Yeah.
I can order it to pull the wire. That's fine.
Yes, but attempting to pull and break the wire is also probably strength.
He has a strength of 10.
He has a strength of 10, which is one more than me. Sorry, 2 more than me.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it doesn't have a strength of 10. It has a strength... It can lift 10 pounds.
Well, I assume the wire isn't that heavy.
Yeah,
but
no,
all right, let's just try stepping over it.
That will require a dex check.
12.
Good enough. My turn. 8 plus 2.
So that's 10.
Good enough.
Okay. I do not have Alice try to climb over it. I unsummon her and resummon her on this side.
Yeah.
And your owl can fly.
Well, she's resting on my shoulder, so that's fine. Yes, you circumnavigate that quite easily.
Okay, quite a few traps then, because we haven't even reached... This is just the staircase. We haven't reached anything more important yet.
Nope.
Alright. Like I said, proceed with caution, because it's working so far.
Yeah.
I hope we don't have to run out of here in a hurry.
What's
I
that?
said I hope we do not have to run out of here in a hurry.
We almost got to the point of another lap around when you hear a muffled sound that I'm going to have you roll a perception check for.
I'm certainly rolling quite well on those. 21.
It sounds like someone who got hurt and kind of
Okay, so it's a groan of pain.
holding the pain in.
And it wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
Okay. Well, it was not me.
And now I want you to roll a perception check with advantage, please. And yes, there's going to be a lot of these.
Yes, I can tell now. 19.
You're fine. Again, directly underneath, there is a trap, you think. You rolled well, but these are really hard to spot. It looks like a plate on a step is just slightly out of alignment, and you can just sort of pick it up a little bit. It looks exactly the same because you rolled high enough as the first one we saw that guard stepped on.
I will try and step over it.
Next check, please.
This is gonna... Whatever. There goes my luck. 4.
Oh, natural 1! I got you beat!
Oh, this is going to be bad.
Alright. So, we looked where we thought we saw it, but it wasn't exactly where we thought we saw it. And, yes, who's leading, you or me?
It would be me.
Alright, so, yes, you thought you saw where the plate was, but you ended up stepping on the real one. And there is a click. And
my cat did not step forward yet.
and a crossbow bolt shoots out of the opposite wall at you.
Do I need to make a dexterity saving throw? Oh, is this an attack roll?
No, this is a trap. This is a dex save.
Okay. Do I have to make another one? Because is this...
No. This is now you see. You heard the click. Now you have a chance to read.
Now I have a save. Okay, now I have the saving throw. Okay, good. Natural 1. Does a crit fail and a saving throw apply to the damage from a trap? We're going to answer that question now.
You try to get out of the way.
I fail horribly, and you bump into me
Failed.
with your natural 1. So don't you have to roll saving throw too? We'll get to that.
You take 5 points of damage from a crossbow bolt in your shoulder.
Ow!
I, on the other hand, managed to avoid any kind of issues with crossbow bolts.
Good for you.
I know! Isn't it lovely? I rolled a 17.
I remove the bolt
Yes. And
toss it into the abyss behind me in frustration.
Roll a perception check.
That's cocked. 12.
As you throw it in, you're just frustrated. You notice it takes a little while before you hear it cling, cling, cling.
Oh,
cling,
good.
cling.
We're high up.
Yeah. Not a shallow hole.
Well, that's good because there goes my idea of my plan of jump and featherfall.
Oh, it's not that deep.
True, because the featherfall can get us off the plateau, as we found out.
Exactly. Roll an intelligence check.
18.
Now that you're thinking about it, and it clicks in your brain thinking, well, obviously this hole should lead somewhere. And it shouldn't lead into the bowels of the earth. You figure that it was probably about a third of the distance to the bottom of the plateau, roughly. The timing would have heard like the ping 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 of it landing on the ground. About a third.
Okay. So this might reach all the way down. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
So yes, you can feather fall if you want.
Yes, but we will still have to look for the traps on the way up. I think I'd rather know where they are.
All right. On we go.
On we go. This could take a while.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to batch this now because
because a third of the way to the bottom of the plateau is 200 feet.
Yes, and every loop takes us down 20 feet.
So this is going to take a while.
Yes. So I want you to roll two, just two. I'm going to just raise the DC a little bit.
Okay.
2 perception checks with advantage, and
all right.
We'll see how they go.
Here's the first one. Is this with my cat's stats or mine?
This is sight oriented.
Okay, so this is me.
With the spell, so it doesn't matter.
So the first one's a 15.
Okay, and the second?
A 16.
Alright. Both are not sufficiently high to avoid a certain number of the traps.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Oh, apparently only one. I would like you to roll a dexterity saving throw, please, as one of the loops that we've done, which is going to be 10 of them between now and the next thing of interest, you didn't quite catch.
Great. What's this one? Does a 10 save?
It does not.
Oh, joy. Dexterity saving throws are not my friend.
No. Alright, there's a whole variety of traps. I'll let you pick which one you actually managed to mess up.
Oh, good. I get to choose the form of my destroyer.
Exactly. There's a whole pile of variations on tripwires, plates, buttons, loose stones, and we've caught most of them.
Let's just say it's a tripwire, just for variety.
We noticed the pattern, which is they're all in a line vertically under the poor demised watch guy, which is the reason why the saves are getting an advantage as well, because you get the pattern, you know what's going on. Unfortunately, because we're doing this as a batch, it wasn't quite high enough.
Wait, was that save supposed to be an advantage? Was that saving throw supposed to be an advantage?
No.
No, okay.
No, just the...
the perception checks are.
Just finding them. Okay. Roll a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh.
Or you did that already?
Well, what was that? What was it you just had me roll?
What did you roll?
I rolled a 10 as the result.
Oh, that's right. My bad. Okay.
So that is the saving throw then.
That was your dexterity saving throw, yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
You take 7 more points of damage. Because this is a tripwire one that you chose, it is another crossbow bolt. In the exact same hole. It's never going to heal. There's a reference.
I don't know where it's from, unfortunately, for the moment.
Dead men don't wear plaid.
Oh, right. We don't watch that very often. It's a very obscure one.
Yes.
All right. I am at 6 hit points, so I'm going to take out a healing potion.
All right.
Before we go any further, I'm going to drink it.
All right. Go for it.
2d4 plus 2.
Yes.
I regain 8 hit points.
Excellent.
Much better.
Feeling much better.
Yes, now it will heal.
All right. Finally, we get to the point where something interesting is going to happen, even though we're tired of tripping over stuff.
Finally, we reached the bottom.
We don't reach the
Oh,
bottom.
good.
We reach something of interest, though. The stairs now... Alright, you got the square hole in the middle, right? That continues.
Is that flickering light still there?
Hmm?
Is the flickering light still there? We haven't passed that.
Roll a perception check.
19.
Yes, but it seems a little bit dim. It doesn't seem to be like right in front of us or anything. The hole
Could be a fire
seems to
burning out.
continue.
As it could be a fire burning out. That was more to myself, but yeah.
The 10 by 10 column of hole, whatever you want to call it, it continues down. But the stairs we see just ahead of us ends in a floor. Roll an investigation check. Hold on a sec. We're still up a little bit, so no advantage.
Okay, so just a straight roll. Investigation 21.
Alright. In your head, you think it should, if the stairs continue, yeah, if you look at the angle, you can just see that stairs actually do continue. But it is, you'd have to actually stick your head over to see it for sure, because you were trying to avoid doing that. You did manage to roll high enough to actually see that it does. It's just, you just see the sort of bit of the skim of it as it heads down. But as you look ahead of you, it's floor.
Okay.
We are still just at the level of the ceiling, because there seems to be a room here. We haven't gone down yet. It stopped us about 15 feet from where that patch is.
So there's a room off to the side of the stairs?
Hard to tell from here, but there does seem to be a roof and possibly an opening, because we're up too high at the moment. You can't really see. You'd have to go down a few more steps. In there is a flickering light.
I will continue down.
Alright.
And we are definitely not getting off the plateau this way.
As we go down further...
Not coming back this way after we leave.
Once we get down to the point where our heads cross underneath the room, something interesting happens. Your glowing rock starts to fade.
It's not been an hour.
Nope. And also, as it fades, the rock drops to the ground. And I inform you that I lost contact with my unseen servant. And the light's gone. Now there's only left in this room now is the faint flickering light, and there seems to be a glowing sphere about the size of a grapefruit that you just see off to the left.
And that's the flickering light.
No.
No? Okay.
The light now
It's below.
is off to the right, and it's too dim now to give you any more than that.
Okay.
Our light source is gone.
I will...
But there does seem to be an orb about this big that seems to be gradually getting brighter as our light source and my unseen servant disappear.
Well, that can't be anything good.
When is there ever good things in a dungeon? It's not like I can go down, oh, there's a kiosk here where there's a gift shop. We can buy food and souvenirs. You're going to have to throw one of those in one day.
How far away is this glowing orb thing?
Hard to tell, but it is illuminating a little bit, so at this point about 25 feet. It's not glowing very brightly.
Okay, I'm going to approach cautiously. I'm going to try walking toward...
Okay. As you step down, you're on the last step now, before you step into the room. You have a couple of options. You got where the floor ends, right in front of you. And of course you have, where the stairs ends, where you think there should be more stairs that turn and go down further. Or you can step onto the floor of the room itself. Which do you want to do?
I'm going to take my staff and tap both sections of the floor.
let's call this, you're investigating, so let's call this an investigation check.
13.
How much?
13.
They both seem quite solid.
So which the glowing orb? Which direction is that in? Is that in the room?
Yeah. This is all in the center. Think of the spiral square staircase as a center column in a relatively large room, and in a corner, you can see now because it's brighter. It's that glowing orb seems to have brightened up quite a bit. It is actually, yeah, it is bright enough now that you can see. There is a platform there, and there is a robed figure standing there holding a staff at an angle against the floor, and at the top of the staff is a round orb that's giving off almost exactly the same amount of light as a light spell at this point.
Okay. I will step into the room to look at this.
All right. As soon as you enter the room, you hear a bit of a grinding sound of stone on stone. It's hard to tell.
Oh, not this again.
But what happens is all of a sudden that energy that was in the light, the orb, the light from it shoots out. And we both need to make dex saves.
I knew it was another trap. Good grief. This is a lot.
Oh, you don't look happy.
3.
3?
3.
All right.
What did you do?
I rolled better than you, but it's not good enough. Oh.
That's not a good sound.
We both take 9 points of damage as this ball of energy passes through you and me and dissipates on the stairwell behind us. Taking damage, I better write it down.
Ah! I suppose that wasn't acid damage.
No.
Okay. Because it's the only thing I'm resistant to.
Are you resistant to radiant damage?
No, I don't think anyone except ASMRs are.
How many hit points are you down now? 9, and you were down.
I have 5
4?
hit points currently.
All right, minus 13 it is. It is now almost pitch dark in here. You see a little bit of flickering light kind of around the corner.
I'm very tempted to just get out of here and tell Mustafa that his guards are dead. Because one is, and I can't imagine another one is living through this.
You can roll a perception check if you like.
Just a straight perception check? Second natural 20 on a perception check. No, sorry, the first one was dexterity, but...
All right.
Why could that not be a saving throw?
Yeah. That's a good roll. So, with that, you notice 2 things. First off, you're pretty sure that that flickering light is from a guttering torch that's around the corner. But also, you hear the sounds of muffled moaning, but it's not coming from this room. It's coming from the direction of that well, the central well.
Alright, I'm going to step back out of this room.
Yep, up the stairs a bit.
Yep. I'm going to pull out a second healing potion.
Alright. Oh, that reminds me.
What?
Oh, I am down 9 hit points. That's half my hit points.
Oh, is that all? Well, speaking of 9, that's how many hit points I can heal.
Alright, so you're only down
So
4
I'm back
now.
to where I started before that trap happened.
I think I'll do the
I'm
same.
now down 2 healing potions.
Yeah, we only just started.
I know. There's kobolds on the way. There's no way they could be worse than this.
I regained 7 hit points. And I have to mark off one too. Good thing we found a bunch of those.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we both have 2 now. Yep. Something I have.
Yep. We have almost near darkness. We have 2 familiars of dark vision, so roll an investigation. No, actually, you don't really need to do anything. Never mind. Don't worry about it. It's just a room. You have to actually go into the room.
Okay, so the moaning was coming from the well, though.
Yes, to your right at this point. Down the hole. And let's just roll that just to be safe. You figure you got maybe a few more minutes and that flickering torch will be out. And then we'll be in absolute darkness.
Okay. Obviously there is there is a doorway to that room. That I just slipped into.
Not so much a doorway.
There's an entrance into that room.
Yes, which is the entrance to that room is the stairway that we are on.
Yes, I'm going to attempt to move past the entrance. Basically, if it was a door, I'm going to move past it.
Okay. I want you to roll a dex check with disadvantage, please, because you're almost completely blind. And I'll erase the disadvantage if you want to use Alice's dark vision and hold her.
I will, yes.
Right.
So, dexterity? 19.
Alright. I am going to join you. Can you roll a dexterity saving throw, please?
What? How am I having to roll this?
Well, I was attempting to step down the stairs and join you, and I've tripped and fall, and I'm rolling down the stairs, and I'm about to collide into you. Sorry.
17.
You managed to nimbly step aside before I collide with you. Ow! I took a little bit of falling damage there.
You didn't fall off, did you?
No, but I fell down the stairs.
Alright, now that we're past the doorway...
Solid stone stairs.
That...
Not really a doorway. Basically, the stairs come down, and as they come down, off to what would be our left at that time, it just ends. There's just a wall there.
So now that we're past that...
Yes, now we're actually in the room itself, but we are relying completely on our...
Are we? Hang on, I don't want to be in the room with that statue.
That's the only option you have.
I thought there was a way down.
No, there isn't. You're now in a very large room. Hold on a sec. I'll give you a dimension. Actually, I can't give you dimensions because it goes outside of our familiar's dark vision.
Do I know where that statue is?
The statue is to your left. You can, if you want, step a little bit further ahead, and you will no longer be in its line of sight, if you want to call it that.
I'm going to do that.
Alright. As you step further ahead, you notice there's another... Well, Alice and my familiar notice to your right, there's another one of those statues.
Well, this is irritating.
And you also notice ahead of you, because it's not that far now, it's about 40 feet, there seems to be a series of bunk beds and footlockers.
You mean someone lived in this nightmare?
At one time, yes. It would seem that way.
Okay. Obviously, these statues absorb magic somehow. Because both our spells went out, and then that thing absorbed the energy and shot us with it.
Exactly.
So I don't want that to happen again.
All right. So what are you going to do?
I mean, my first thought is go back the way we came and because
it's up to you.
do I still hear that moaning?
You're now almost 50 feet away from the well. You can roll a perception check if you like, but it is not going to be an easy DC.
17.
No, you don't hear it.
I mean,
What are you thinking?
so there's no way to continue down continue down from here, basically.
There obviously is, unless that is an illusion that you're hearing, but it does sound like a person who is moaning. Now, it's difficult to say. I know, now that you walk by this twice, you know that if you stand at the bottom of the stairs and make a leap, you can make it onto where the stairs continue.
Oh, good. So there's a staircase down.
Yes. You're not sure how far down it goes.
No, I'm not, and I can't cast light in order to get a better look because this thing will absorb the magic and then shoot us.
Yes. It seems that way anyway.
It leads me to the question, who built this place and why?
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to exit this room and go back up the stairs a bit because there's nothing of... It's pitch black in here and I can't really do anything in here, so...
Alright. Roll a perception check, please, on your way back.
16.
You notice, not sure how you missed it the first time on the way through, there are a fair number of bones on the floor here.
Gee, I wonder what caused that. I look at the statue that has shot both of us with magic energy.
Yep.
Okay, I said this place is a literal death trap.
Alright, now that you're at the stairs again, do you want to check again to see if you can still hear that?
Yes.
Alright, roll away. You can have advantage because we are now both looking for it. And we have two familiars. Mine has keen hearing too, so...
Oh, that's even worse. 9 total. Seriously. Avoided a natural 1 at least.
You're uncertain. There might be. It's hard to tell. So you head up the stairs a little bit?
Yeah. Alright, is there another... Well, the stone should be here.
The stone should be what?
The stone that I cast light on before should be around here somewhere.
You walked by it.
Okay.
You can go back down
I'm
the
going to
stairs.
pick it up again.
Alright, won't have your roll for that.
Good.
Because you might fall down the stairs or something and fall down the shaft.
Okay, I'm going to go back up a bit and sprinkle some more phosphorescent moss on it and recast light on it.
Alright.
See if the light cantrip maintains out of the range of that statue, or visual range at least.
I assume that you're going up higher than where the effect first happened, right?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do that, yes.
Alright. Roll an intelligence check to make sure that you manage that.
7. I seem to be gotten lost in the dark.
Okay, it's high enough. It was just... When you roll below 5, I was going to, be really mean. Alright, you have a glowing rock. You now have light again, and our pets don't have their dark vision.
And I toss it into the well.
All right. You toss it into the well. Doing what personally?
Just like an underhanded throw, just throw it in.
Yeah, but where are you? Where do you? All right. So what's the purpose? What are you trying to ascertain?
I just want to see. I just want to. I'm just throwing the rock down to see if anything happens, or see how far down it is.
Roll a well, just a dex check. It is technically going to be an attack roll, but we'll just do a dex check.
7.
All right, you throw it in, you lob it in, and you hear it hit the stairs on the opposite side, and it goes ding, 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 ding a little bit, and eventually comes to a rest. You now have a fairly well lit well. Your rock is about maybe 20 to 30 feet below where you are. It's hard to tell without actually looking over the edge.
See, the problem is there's no way to get back up here as far as I know. I mean, you said that the staircase ended and then it continued, so basically there's a section missing for all intents and purposes.
Hard to tell without actually having adequate light and investigating that
So for
section.
the point of discussion, there's a section missing, which we would have to jump across, and then somehow manage to jump across back carrying a wounded... This is insane. This is a very bad situation to go in. This place is a literal death trap. And I don't hear any more moaning.
With that roll, you're not sure. It's hard to tell. It is not silent, but you can't really tell.
Yeah, this is I think we should report back to Mustafa and tell him that one of his guards is definitely dead, and the other one is very likely dead, and this place is full of deadly traps.
Alright, so you want to forego trying to do any more investigation and head up.
Well, I don't want to jump across that gap, because there's a very good chance I'll fail and fall down, and 2, not be able to get back across.
Yes.
So.
Understood. So. What do you want to do?
I guess we're heading back up then, trying to avoid the traps.
Alright. We do now know the pattern. So, I would like you to roll 2 perception checks with advantage for all of the traps between here and the top. Some of them are already tripped anyway.
So the first one is a 12.
Okay, the second one
is a 20 total.
Alright. I would like you to roll a dexterity saving throw, please, for the one that you missed.
Okay. I have a point of inspiration.
Yes.
I'm going to use it to gain advantage on this saving throw.
Alright. Hey, you remembered it!
Not that it's been doing... Not the advantage has been helping much on these.
Been a while.
19 in total.
Not a problem. You avoid the trap.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, there's no point in describing it because there's a whole pile of different ones. And let's call another tripwire / crossbow bolt if you like. And you make it to the top.
Rope still there, I hope.
Rope is still there, and you can see some light on the other side where the lantern is.
I'm going to climb back up.
There, climb back up into the cellar. And what do you want to do? You want to go talk to Mustafa?
Yeah, he's the one who sent us down there.
Alright, so when you get up into the guard room, there's only one guard there because they're very light on manpower at the moment.
Gee, I wonder why.
And he informs you that Mustafa is out making preparations for a most likely upcoming Kobold raid.
Okay, well, I'm going to go out and look for him.
Alright, roll an investigation check just to see how long this takes.
21.
How much?
21.
Oh, takes you no time at all. Mostly just travel time to get to the village, and you notice him right away, and he sees you and immediately comes over because, you know, he sent you off and doing something.
Well, I'm going to inform him that I'm not the bearer of good news.
Oh, well, please tell me that this is not so.
Well, I know for a fact that one of the watch officers is dead. Because I found the body.
What happened to him?
There are a large number of traps down there, and he took a crossbow bolt right to the chest. Pinned him to the wall. I did not find the other one. As we went further down, there were more and more traps, some of them magical in nature, but worse, there were sections of the staircase missing, and it was in... And I saw a flickering light. Might have been a torch going out, but it was so far down we couldn't make it that far safely, unfortunately. I recommend no one go down there.
Is there any chance I can convince you to go back in? Not necessarily right at this very moment, but I mean, we are now getting pretty close to noon, and we do need to prep for the Kobold raid, which is coming, and I understand you guys are going to want to rest as well, because I really would like your help at that, because we're very light-handed here in manning any kind of defense for this village. So, but after that's all said and done, I mean, I really would like to know for sure.
There are two primary problems with that. One, I'm not entirely confident that anyone going down there is going to be able to make their way back up again, just between the number of traps and the fact that there's definitely at least a section of the staircase, one section of the staircase missing. There could be more. Getting down is maybe easier than getting back up again. And two, I'm trying to think. It's like, well, odds are not good. Even if your watch officer is alive, there's an awful lot down there. He's probably not going to be in any condition to help us out at all.
I understand. Unfortunately, it was my sworn duty to check this out, so I guess I will have to go down after this is all said and done and see what I can do. I have to check after my man.
Okay. All right, well.
So, he's not thrilled, but he understands. Unfortunately, he has no real choice in the matter. He can't leave a guy down there. So.
Well, there's definite...
He has to be able to tell the family something.
Well, the first body is not far from where we went down.
Yeah. We will recover him in due course, but we have, unfortunately... Sad to say, we have more pressing matters, yes. I suggest you get some rest. I am going to do the same because going into this exhausted is simply not going to improve matters. I will come and get you before sunset because most likely the Kobolds are going to wait until it's dark.
Okay.
And he heads off.
Yeah, sad, but not much more could have been done there, I don't think.
All right.
That was definitely a fool's errand, unfortunately.
I take it we head to my place?
There's one thing I would like to do before we go there. I would like to... I just want to double check something in my inventory. Yeah. I still have 2 vials of ink for transcribing, but I'm out of paper, so I would like to try and find some more reeds to make...
Unfortunately, that would require heading out of the village, up either the west or the east coast of the central Caldera Lake, a little ways out of town because
they don't grow in town.
In town, the shore has been cleared because there's a lot of fishing that goes on. So that would require probably about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours of time, and then of course
we
you
don't have
drive
really.
and stuff. So. Well, if we're going to get a long rest before tonight's events, we have to pretty much think about doing that soon. Not, 2 or 3 hours from now.
Yeah. All right, well, we might want to then go at least take a short rest. There's nothing else.
Oh, we have plenty of time now if we don't go after trying to find reeds and stuff.
Okay.
We have plenty of time for a long rest.
Okay, let's head back to your place then.
All right. So, we will take a long rest. Have some food and regain hit points.
Yep.
So, all right. Your modifier is enough, so don't even bother rolling.
You don't have to roll for a long rest.
Oh, all right. We're back to full. Have our spell slots back. And
2 new portents, which I didn't use. They weren't very good anyway. Not for saving throws.
All right. As we are getting up
Yeah.
and getting ready, there seems to be a little bit of a disturbance outside.
Oh, it's starting already.
Yeah.
It was my first thought.
Not that kind of disturbance. It seems to be like a couple of what? Seriously? Like that kind of talk. Like there's some
So it's
people
not chaos.
outside or not chaos, but they don't do that. And I assume you're gonna go downstairs and
Yep.
see what's going on.
Quickly dress, grab my belongings, and head out.
As we head out the door, coming across the bridge, I guess I can scroll up now. Coming across here and trotting towards us at actually quite a speed are 2 wolves.
Wolves, okay. Well, we do have a druid in these woods, and she is friends with the wolf pack. And she does have animal messenger.
Do you have a perception check? Let's just do that.
10.
Nah. All right. Believe it or not, they're beelining for us. As soon as they see us, they're both trotting right toward us. And before you can really do anything, they're there because wolves really can run fast when they want to.
Well, they're not. At least they're not lunging at us with teeth bared.
No. There doesn't seem to be any aggression to this. One of them shimmers and transforms into Leah. And
Messenger, but okay.
yeah. The other one that is here, you recognize is the one that we had an encounter with not so long ago.
That one. He's looking better then. Because that one was on Death's Store.
Yes. Leah is taking good care of her, and now it is, for all intents and purposes, her animal familiar friend. And she's not out of breath, because wolves can run a long way. She says, good, I'm glad I found you. There's so many things I need to do. The Kobolds are en masse. You already know that, I assume, because I saw you running by just before they came. I have been running interference. I can't deal with that much. There's just too many of them. But me and my wolf pack have been harrying them for the last, pretty much the last day. But we can't prevent them any further. They will be here nightfall. You notice her person, she's fine. She doesn't look wounded or anything. But you notice some tears in her cloth of her robes. And you notice the wolf does seem to have a little bit of spots of what could have been blood. Seems to be fine at the moment. But
so they were injured, but they've been healed.
Yes, they've seen some action. She does look, now that you think about it, not so much winded, but a little strained and tired. She says, because, and she indicates the wolf at her side, and says a name. Do you know Elvish?
I do not, no.
She says a name in Elvish. Because you showed restraint and did not kill my friend when she was out of her mind, I am returning the favor, and that to warn you, they will be here by nightfall. Prepare as you wish. And then she looks up into the sky.
I follow her gaze.
You see Raven circling, and she looks at it and does this. the raven spirals down, lands on one of the buildings nearby. She walks over to the raven and says, "All right, old man, I'm calling in my favor you owe me. You know the conditions. Deal with it." And she's not actually angry, not pleasant, mostly commanding. And Raven's just sitting there.
I assume I recognize the raven at this point.
Then you see a one-time nod of the head, and it disappears.
Well, I know whose raven that is then.
Yes, you recognize it. You've seen it many times. And then she turns to us, bows her head, shimmers, and the two wolves head off at speed across the bridge and back up towards the woods.
What time is it currently?
Well, it's probably about half hour, hard to tell from sunset. You can do a nature check if you like.
11. No, wait, 13.
Roughly that. Hour, half hour. It is getting closer to dark.
All right, then. We do not have much time.
No. This is also about the time that Mustafa shows up. And Albrecht's with him. And it's said that
they are coming.
Divided up the wall. Yeah. Albrecht's, he has a vested interest in saving this town. He lives here. There is also a member of the Watch.
Okay.
But that's it. Everyone else is elsewhere making preparations. They're mostly peasants. They are probably going to bolt their doors and stay inside as much as they can. There are a couple that are a little bit more militant. They're lining up on the farmsteads up on the northeast side. They just seem to think that
they are very much prime targets.
They're thinking that they can handle this because them and the Watch have fended off Kobold raids a number of times over the decades, and they think they're pretty much set for this. So
okay, I know Ivor is indisposed. He's still recovering.
Yes. So
the first question is, where in the world is Gregor, Bilius, and the rest of the lunatics in this village? Because this is something we could probably use their help with, so I'm going to look around for them.
Alright. So we are currently about here. We've met up with everybody, and we are heading across here, and this, of course, is where they are. This is where their abodes are. At this point, as you head across the bridge, you see 4 or 5 of the locals that you've noticed. Roll a perception. See if you actually do notice.
12.
You're not sure, but they're pounding on both doors, one to the Church of Mithras and the other to the residence, and they're yelling for them to come out. They're yelling for Gregor, they're yelling for Mustafa, they're yelling for the acolytes. They're, why are you out here? We need you. This is an emergency. Please come and help us because you promised safety if we followed you. And this sort of thing. This is going on for a few minutes as we head across to here. What do you want to do about it? Do you want to approach them at all, or do you want to continue on to where they're setting up kind of makeshift defenses?
I am going to walk over to this crowd. They're probably not going to care.
Right. It's not really a crowd. It's half a dozen, 10 people divided between the two abodes.
All right, I'm going to walk over and say, I suspect of more, or I'm trying to think of the word. Cyclical is the right word. A more cyclical form of salvation is needed at the moment. I suggest you all head to your homes and barricade your doors. This is not going to be an easy night. Is this a check of some sort?
First off, yeah, that's about right. Roll a persuasion check, please.
20 total.
Wow.
19 plus 1.
Your powers of persuasion and their actual seeming almost...
At a loss for a better solution.
well, the problem is... Gregor and Bilius and their crew have presented them with a lot of arguments and stricture and some miracles and whatnot, and have convinced them that they're their path to the right direction for the village. That's the way it's been going up till recently. But when things are actually going wrong,
they are conveniently absent. Or the cause.
They're not here currently, but also they've noticed that you and I and the members of the Watch and to a lesser extent Albert have always come when needed. And they're going to listen to your words. They're going to head home. They're going to lock themselves in. Except about 2 or 3 of them have decided that they should help. They want to come and help.
That's their decision, but it is probably... basically.
Yeah.
All right. I said. But at least we aren't going to have a bunch of bystanders getting...
Give me a few. As we head further along the road, heading up the eastern section as it curves, you notice that there are probably about 25 peasants. They have pitchforks, they have rakes, they have staves, they have clubs, they have lots of farm implements.
Yep, more not really weapons though.
No, they are improvised weapons mostly, and they do want to protect their lives.
I'm not going to be able to convince these people to go home and leave it to us, mostly because I'm not entirely convinced all of us, the 5 of us, can handle this.
Well, the thing is, you can't convince them to go home because they technically are.
Because this is their home. They're willing to fight for it. Part of me...
They are surrounded by their
homes
and their stuff. All right. This is basically taking all the time that's left between now and...
30 of us against who knows how many kobolds.
Well, Leah had not mentioned any casualties, but we knew roughly we're looking at more than 50 kobolds are heading. And,
so nearly 2-to-1 odds.
Yeah, and also you hear the sounds of drums like we did last time.
I take one look back towards the Church of Mithras and Gregor's abode. So seriously think about barging in there and dragging them out here to help with this, but I don't think it's going to make any difference.
All right. Roll a perception check. I know you love it. You can have advantage because we're all staring in the same direction.
The advantage made the difference. 21.
All right. In the distance. Switch over to the other map for a sec. All right. We are...
basically right there.
This is just... This is the village, but there's actually like homesteads through here. This is a lot of crops and stuff. This is pretty much the tree line. And you see arrayed in here a large number of figures. Hard to tell, even with a 21 at this distance.
But I'm pretty sure these are the kobolds.
These are the kobolds. They seem to be, at this point, beating drums, and it's in a language you don't understand, but the reasoning for it is they seem to be getting their courage up to attack.
And now I know how the British felt when they faced all those Zulu warriors.
You noticed something else because you rolled really high. Um, it's getting dark now, but because this object is high enough in the sky, it is still having some light shed upon it. You see a very tiny humanoid up in the sky.
Oh, there are flying kobolds. I do know that.
You can roll another perception check if you want to try and identify this.
Without advantage, I presume?
No, this is just something you're doing. So, just you.
13.
Not sure.
Well,
but there is definitely something humanoid shaped, not very big, and it seems to be about 100 and 150 feet.
Well, there's two possibilities what that could be, I think to myself.
At this point, you don't really have much.
Either it's a kobold, and so it attack us, or it's not important at the moment.
At this point, it really isn't important because they are now got their courage up, and they are charging across. There's a nice tight ball of them heading across the fields towards us.
This is a bit late to ask this, but what sort of fortifications have been set up? Anything?
Some of them have turned over some wagons. Some of them have taken some fences and attached that. Nothing that's going to slow them down.
Minor cover, not very good.
Minor, yeah, like maybe 25% cover from slingshots until they get here, kind of thing.
So there's no such thing as 25% cover in D&D terms, but whatever.
All right, half cover, I guess.
Well, it's not going to make much difference. It might help against slings, but that's about it.
All right, you have a whooping, screaming, and well, we'll just call all screaming. Some of it obviously is language. Mass of living kobolds heading towards you. Hard to tell.
Numbers.
Definitely more than 30 or 40. Less than 50 or 60. Somewhere in that
distance?
range. Currently, they are probably about 200, 250 feet away. And they're quite rapidly closing the distance. Too far yet, because it's also dark, to make out any kind of individuals. But they are going to be here soon, and then we can take care of that.
Yeah. Well, my best area effect spell does not work over that distance, so probably going to have to wait until they close.
Basically, as the mass has cleared the forest, that they're actually now in the farmland proper and are almost to the barricades, there is a massive explosion.
Oh, okay.
All of a sudden, the whole area, I mean, you're blinded for a second. There is a huge sphere of fire as you see a number of houses, crops, and a whole pile of kobolds go up in a fiery blaze.
I look to see if I can. Did it just like so? The ground just went. There was.
Well, you were staring at them. If you want, I'll give you a perception check at disadvantage to see if you can figure out how this happened, because you were obviously enthralled by.
13. That's actually pretty good with disadvantage.
No, it's not good enough, really. Sorry.
The 21 that the total that the other one would have been, but
yeah.
I have a pretty good idea what that was, though.
You can do an Arcana check.
Yes, that will not be with disadvantage. 17.
You're pretty sure that was a fireball.
And I only know one person who can cast that.
And I assume at this point you
look
up. You see that small humanoid shape. Vaguely still, not no real light up there anymore, but you see something and it's heading off.
Okay, so that's his... Okay, I'm thinking to myself, so that's the favor.
a lot of damage has been done to the village. Well, sorry, this is the outskirts of the village, but there are still farmsteads here. There are people in those buildings.
Yeah, we should probably try and... Oh, we're going to have to try and put those out while fighting. Ren, why didn't you aim? That's also wouldn't make much sense.
There are some very distraught human and halfling voices that you hear. But you also notice that
a good number of those kobolds were not killed by that fireball.
The lead of the kobold group are now have a big fire behind them, and they're still heading forward. They're not as into it as they were, because
they weren't expecting that.
They've just witnessed a huge arcane event that has decimated their numbers. If you like, you can roll a perception check, not at disadvantage now, because there is a bright light behind them, and you can see how many are left.
14.
Can't get an exact number with that, but
it's less.
You're looking at probably about 3/4 to maybe even more are no longer alive.
That's good.
There is roughly half a dozen to 10 kobolds charging us.
Okay. Where is Mustafa? Do I see? I assume he's standing nearby.
Mustafa and Albert and myself.
Well, I assume Mustafa's going to be the one in charge of this defense. I recommend we deal with these quickly and try and get those people out of those houses.
All right. As you say that, all of the brave villagers that were ready to lay down their lives for the defense of their homes are now running past you, heading towards town.
As in away from this.
As they are in total panic.
I shout over my shoulder, "No! That was a good thing! He was on our side!"
They've just witnessed total destruction, almost, of a section of the village. Well, outskirts. Crops are on fire. Kobolds are dying. People are screaming. Pandemonium.
Yeah. No, this would be a fair description, I think.
Yep. And I rolled a 2 for their morale check.
So you and I are still here. Mustafa is still here. Albrecht is still here.
Yes.
What about that watch off?
The 4 of us.
5 of us?
Are now.
5 of us?
Oh yeah, the watchman.
Okay, so he's here too. Okay. Well, now it is literally 2-to-1 odds, but the odds are better. I still.
All right, so you.
How did Mustafa react to my suggestion?
Hold on a sec. I gotta write some stuff down because we're gonna go.
We're going for initiative. Okay.
Mustafa. Let's break down guard. Sorcerer and Kobolds. Alright, let's take care of initiative first. Roll initiative, please. I have a good initiative.
I have a 10.
You have a 10 total? 13. 18. Won't have a 10. Alright.
So, the order is...
I'm first.
Okay, so
you're second last. Mostly because your dex modifier is better than a kobold's. Okay. So your suggestion to Mustafa was...
I recommend that we deal with these quickly and try and put those fires out. That was my suggestion.
He has a very grim but set countenance, and he has his sword drawn, and he couldn't agree more.
Okay.
All right. I am going to wait till they get close enough. Once they're roughly 120 feet out, we now can see a lot better. There are indeed 7 kobolds. One that is a little bit different than the others. You remember Junior, the kobold sorcerer that we met in the mountains? Similar attire. Older, more grizzled, but definitely of the kobolds there, the one that seems the most determined.
Okay.
And he is definitely charging towards you and I.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so soon as the range is closed, we can now go into initiative order. I see him, and I see the look in his eye because he is 120 feet out when I firebolt him.
Oh, okay.
All right. That's a palpable hit. For a whole 4 points of damage. Next in line is Mustafa. He does not have a ranged weapon.
No.
He's going to hold his action for when the kobolds close, and then he is going to get an attack on them.
Okay.
Next up is Albert, and he also does not have a ranged weapon. He has...
Quite typical of fighters.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He is going to just step forward a little bit so he's slightly in front of us and hold his action as well for when the kobolds join with us. And then the next up is the guard.
Technically, you can throw a spear.
And, yeah, it's a long range. They don't actually have their javelins with them at the moment. He is also going to do the same thing. And up after that is the Kobold sorcerer.
Oh joy!
He has stopped at the moment I shot him, and now he's calmly stepping forward a few feet, and he is in the process of casting a spell. Sorry, I need to switch over a page here.